This has been a question that has been on my mind for like the past couple of days. Was TF2 better back then? I'm not exactly sure when back then was, but I think everyone kind of has their own definition of like that time period in their life. So I don't want to get all deep and weird in literally the first sentence of the video, but it's something that had to happen apparently, and this has been something I've been thinking about. So I thought I'd talk about it in a video, see what you guys think. I think by the time this video has come out, I'm recording it like a couple days before it even like ever sees the face of the internet. So I think by the time this video has come out, we probably have hit 75,000 subscribers, which is insane, like actually nuts. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a 12-hour YouTube live stream at some point. It will probably be like the information for it will probably be in the next couple of videos, but I want to do a 12-hour live stream to celebrate this. We're going to be doing it on YouTube, and I want to get a whole bunch of you guys involved. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you all so much for the support. It's been incredible these past couple of months. And yeah, we're just going to keep going 100k next, hopefully. So now let's talk about why TF2 might have been better back then. So the first thing that I think is probably the major point people will pick up on is if you go back to 2012, 2013, even all the way up to Meet Your Match in 2016, I believe, the updates were fairly consistent and you'd get 2 or 3 major updates a year. Nowadays, it's more like a major update every 2.5, maybe almost 3 years, which is kind of not that great. Honestly though, before this whole bot thing happened, I genuinely thought TF2 was fine as it was. Yeah, it sucks not having new updates to cover a bunch of the time. It would be really cool to have updates and be able to cover updates and news from Valve about TF2 all the time, because, you know, that content would be sick. But right now, I feel like there's enough TF2 ideas to keep me going for a long time, and it felt like the game didn't really need a whole lot more updates to keep the game going, I guess. Like, the game wasn't going to just randomly shut down because it hadn't got an update, if you know what I mean. Everybody was saying we desperately need an update, and I really didn't agree. I felt like there was enough stuff going on in the game, and there is always enough stuff going on in the game to be able to have fun and keep it fresh, at least for a little bit. Obviously, that statement might be a little bit controversial, but I personally felt like TF2 was okay before the bots came and invaded this whole game. As soon as they're gone, I think TF2 will go back to exactly how I felt it was before. But updates used to be like a huge part of the game. Valve would leak them months before they happened, and, you know, there'd be stuff going on in TF2 that you don't really know what it is yet, like the bread coming out of teleporters, stuff like that. That I loved. But right now, I don't think TF2 desperately needs it. You need an update to get rid of the bots, definitely. But I don't know how easy that's going to be, or if Valve is even going to do it. So I think one of the other reasons that people will think TF2 is better back then is that it felt like more stuff was new because you as a player were brand new to this game. Like, everything you were doing was something you've never done before. So you could be doing stuff that had been in the game for 10 years and it would feel new because you hadn't started and you were brand new. And, you know, that feeling is how TF2 players who are starting today feel. But because most of us are playing today have been playing for years, we don't get that feeling of discovering everything for the first time or that everything is new because we've been seeing it for years. If there was an update, we'd get that feeling again for a little bit, but we'd eventually end up exactly where we are now. I mean, I personally am still finding out a lot of stuff about this game that I didn't know. I played 4,000 hours of this game over 8 years, and I still absolutely suck at this video game. So I'm still learning, I'm still finding out new things, and I can still have fun. Updates definitely help, but they do just give you a whole bunch of content to try out and look through, which is why people like them so much, because it brings back that feeling of just starting out the game again, which I think really is what everybody wants to feel all the time. Like having to always learn new stuff about a video game. I really like that. I think one of the reasons, personally, that I think TF2 was a bit better years ago when I was newer is because my life at the time was a whole lot simpler. If I think about it, this might get actually a little bit heavy, but in 2012 or whatever, when I started playing, not a whole lot had happened in my life. The past 8 years of my life have been insane. Like, I hadn't started suffering with my mental health quite as much at that point. I haven't been going through all of this other stuff, all of this other rubbish. Like, I hadn't had that many, like, massive stresses in my life, if that makes sense. The biggest thing I had to worry about at the time was my GCSEs, and there was no pressure on me to get a job, no pressure on me to be an adult and sort my life out and any of that stuff, whereas nowadays, I'm still playing TF2, but I have all of this extra stuff that I need to be doing as well. But years ago, I could literally get home from school, play TF2, make YouTube videos, and do pretty much whatever I wanted to, really. Like, the time I was new to TF2 and almost like the glory days of TF2 that I remember was more to do with the fact that all of the time in my life had a lot less stress in it. And I think that's the same for a lot of people who have grown up playing this game. Like, I've been playing TF2 almost all throughout high school, college, sixth form, and university. So a lot would have changed about the game, and a lot will have changed about me too, which is kind of insane. Like, you think about these people who've been playing TF2 since it's literally started. That is 13 years of their life they have been dedicating to this video game. And like, this video game has been a massive part of their life for that long. Like, you could have a baby and it would be a teenager in that time. Like, that is a long time to be dedicated to a video game. This next point is kind of the one that got me thinking about this idea, and that is like the hackers were way rarer to find in servers back then. You could barely find any if you tried. Nowadays, it's literally you rarely find a server without a cheater in it, which kind of sucks, but I'm just hoping Valve is working on a fix. But it basically meant you could play TF2 for hours and hours and hours on end without really worrying about anything. There might have been players that were better than you, sure, but nobody was really cheating in any of these games. Now, you always wonder when you get sniped if that sniper is just good at the game, like a lot of snipers are, or if they're hacking and you're just about to find out that the whole server you're playing on is ruined pretty much. Like, no wonder people think TF2 was better back then, because the spot it's in right now isn't the worst it could be in, if we're completely honest. Like, it could just be shut down, but it is far from the best position TF2 could possibly be in. Like, there is a long way to go if we were getting TF2 to, like, its perfect position, you know? I personally am still, like, fairly optimistic about this game. Valve haven't really given me a reason to be optimistic, but I just like thinking that hopefully Valve will care about this community one day. Something might change. Like, you know, CS didn't get updates for a while, and now they're getting quite a lot. Maybe, just maybe, hopefully one day TF2 will be the same. I'm not going to hold my hopes out for that, though. It doesn't hurt to be just a little bit optimistic. So anyway, that is going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure you leave the video a like and also subscribe to the channel if you're new. It helps me out massively. Again, massive thank you to 75k if we have hit it by the time this video goes live. If not, then, you know, keep subbing so we can hit it. That would be awesome. Thank you. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you thought about this video, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.